Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome back. You guys love KMPH, KemPharm. You guys love. That's why the logo behind me. All right. Sometimes we feel like, hey, my money's just going into like a black hole. I just keep throwing more into this black hole, which is KMPH. But we're here with Niraj Rama, and he's a private equity family office. KMPH's largest shareholder. Is that correct?
Well, that's what people tell me. I think you don't ever know who's disclosing and who's not. But I did have some talks with a lot of other shareholders since we last chatted, and I think there are some others that are close. But yeah, I think at
Okay.
this point we are one of the largest, if not the. Where I won't disclose the amount, but I did also finally get in touch with management, and so of course we haven't filed a 13D or anything, but we are
Okay.
there. I can guarantee you, across multiple entities, we have a lot of KMPH.
Well, I can guarantee you I am not, but I do own some. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to get Travis Mickle on. So, Niraj,
Yeah.
like I've been emailing him and his people, his PR. We're trying to set a time, but like I need it now. I need it fast. So we need answers.
Yeah.
I just want to do something on his background because I think he's an asset to this company that people are just forgetting about. I mean, he's the guy who basically created Vyvanse. Um, so what do you think since our last interview? Like, KMPH has gone down. Uh, what is your thoughts? Are you buying more?
Yeah, I think this was I did buy more. Um and the restructured milestone agreements I think took a lot of the impatient money out, and on the surface it on the surface and when you peel it back, it's a great deal. I don't see any negative aspect of it other than you have less money up front, and why would you want that money? they
Break
they
down
don't
that
need.
deal for those that don't know,
Sure.
for like the new people.
Sure. From a high level, they were supposed to get a $48 million milestone payment in 30 days from the approval. They opted to trade in 28 million of it, so they're going to get 10 million. They've already, I'm assuming, would have already got the 10, and then another 10 when they get the labeling. So they will get 20, and they traded the other 28 million for about 120 or 30 million in increased milestones over the future, which is a great trade. But not only that, they've lowered a lot of those tiers of milestones, so they should be able to make that 28 million back and some more because there are lower milestones to hit now. So that that to me means it's pushing up the 28 million a little bit longer, but you've traded it for a lot more money in the long term. And secondly, with $77 million in cash, and now with 87 million, with the first 10 million coming, then another 10 million coming after the labeling, you're sitting at almost $100 million in cash. What do you need for with more of that money at the time when you've already kind of budgeted out all your capital plans?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so why not take more money in the long term, and a greater sum of it, especially because you believe when in all of the data. And I did speak to a few of the shareholders, some of the shareholders that have existed and that have had a lot of conversations with management. And the rumor is that Corium is so excited they're ramping up manufacturing at a higher clip than. And this is what's key: they're going to be manufacturing off the get go more of this drug than initially thought. So that tells you in their channel checks, they're expecting an increased demand than what they originally expected. So both parties came to the table. There was no ill will. There was no discussions. Oh, this was a label. That wasn't the label. The data spoke for itself, and both parties came to the table and said, this is a better deal for both of us because KemPharm will make more money in the long term, and we're going to be able to launch 28 million more dollars towards ramping up this launch, which is again a great thing. So that was the update on the milestone payment.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at it as um, uh, inpatient money came out. The hopefully we added some more long-term holders. I'm not sure if the warrants have all been exercised or not. I've kind of stopped giving up on trying to calculate that. But more importantly, I think the stock is in control of the shorts until we start seeing sales. And so we have about, I would say, a couple more months of potential pain of just watching this go sideways, unless there's some development or unless some buyers try to get in early, because it's so undervalued. Um,
What's the next catalyst? Is it the label?
I would, at this point, I think it is a catalyst, but I think more than anything, I want to just see the sales. I want to see a quarterly earnings come. I want to see the
Hmm.
drug all over the market, and I think they should be able to just blow earnings out of the water
But right now,
quarter after.
April 16th for those watching in the
Yeah.
future,
Mhm.
2021. When do they actually start selling? Do you know like when that's happening?
By summer, middle of 2021, they should be getting the drug. They want this to be available for kids before schools get started. They've had some good talks with payers, good talks with prescribers, the providers. Corium is all go 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 here, and they actually have some other drugs in the pipeline. Of course, the SUD, the stimulant use disorder, but they've also seemed to have some good data on some Alzheimer's drugs they're working on in the back end.
Hmm.
That I don't think they've announced anything on that yet.
Right.
But that's what
I've been reading things and hearing things like
I've been
they
reading and
really
hearing things
like the
that,
Alzheimer's and
yeah.
like what
So
stage is that? Is that a phase two or what's going on with that one?
they haven't made too much of that public, so we'll see what happens with that. I've heard the data is so good that they may even get a chance to spin it off or partner. It's I've heard
Oh,
nothing but
okay. So they might be
tremendous things about.
preclinical. Maybe preclinical.
It could be preclinical, it could be inhuman. I'm not sure. They
Okay.
just haven't disclosed. I think it might be preclinical because I believe it's in the lab, but the data is so compelling that it should be great. But I think right now the shorts are in control of the stock, and we just need to get some institution retails. We need to get some traders out of the stock and some more long-term holders in here.
Speaking of long term, so just correct give me some clarity here. The the deal with Corium is just for the Asteris, right? It's not for the other drugs in the pipeline.
Yeah, I think Corium, part of this deal, had to give up first rights of refusals on the other parts of the pipeline, so they can still be a part of it, but they've given up some first right of refusal, so other companies can come in there, and
Mm,
which is a good thing again for KemPharm.
yeah, keeps it competitive.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as Travis, like when he comes on, I'm gonna ask him a lot about his background, his history. I think a lot of people don't realize he created Vyvanse, sold to Shire. Do you see this possibly happening again with KMPH here, KemPharm, or do you think he found a company and he's happy to develop the substance use disorder drug and the Alzheimer's drug? What do you think is going on in his head? I know you're not a psychic, but what do you think is happening?
I hope he has his head down and he's just working on the science and getting things going. But I hope he takes a few moments each week just to make the rounds with institutions, take meetings with institutions, take meetings with media, to just get the word out, because part of it is just awareness. I don't think there's that many people aware. I've been doing my part to get them connected with Goldman Sachs, so that we
Wow.
can get more coverage.
Niraj
Uh,
pulling some strings.
yeah, I want more. I want more banks to have this under coverage, because what's
Why
happening
don't
right
they?
now is, I think it's probably a small market cap, but hopefully the market. I mean, that's part of the problem. The market cap needs to increase to get on more of the larger banks. See, there's a game. HC Wainwright's playing a game, and they've been able to manipulate this thing down, and that's been frustrating.
Hmm.
And so it's just, how can you take? Why would you take your numbers down if you have a better milestone deal? And the milestone doesn't even take into account the sales royalty they're going to get. So forget the milestone payments. Just imagine they're getting upwards of 15-20% on the sales of this drug for the lifetime, for the next 17 years at least.
Right.
um, so like I said, this eventually, in the near future, this drug will be selling. They'll be having quarterly revenues greater than the market cap potentially in the coming years, which I just can't imagine can last for that much longer. And everything I've seen, people on the internet, they're excited to use this drug. They want it for their kids. Forget about the onset and the duration. They're interested in it just for the fact that it prevents the lack of effect on growth and appetite. I think that's more compelling than all of it to me.
Yeah, what do you think about the competition? I mean, I've been hearing that there's another ADHD drug that got approval or is about to get approval, and it's like a this so Astaris is a class 2, right? And
Mhm.
then this other ADHD drug is a class 4, and the name's escaping me right now. But there's another one on the market that got approved as a class 4. I mean, like, have you looked into this at all?
A little bit, but there's always going to be competition. But I think the data, unless their data is as compelling as KemPharm's, I don't think it is. I think it's the LAT platform of how the drug is absorbed is very unique. So I don't believe it should be an issue. But competition is always going to be there. We want that.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but no,
a SDX. SDX is
FBS,
the
yeah.
Schedule 4. Astaris
No,
would be a Schedule 2.
yeah, I still think KemPharm is a superior drug. So, I mean, from the
Okay.
scam charts and from the data, the lack of appetite effect, and so, it is a blockbuster drug, and Corium knows that. Corium really does know that.
Yeah. Core so okay, and I think that's really like the wild card here that people need to understand more of is
Mhm.
Corium. And can you just give us a little bit of like a background into Corium and how they are involved with KMPH? Like, why are they even involved?
Yeah, so Corium is backed by a billionaire out of Europe from Switzerland. Ernesto, I always messed his last name up.
Yeah.
Benatelli. Um, but they're basically a commercialization partner for biotech companies, and they have really interested in CNS, neurology, psychiatry kind of areas, and they've really pulled the best of the best of Vyvanse. If the president of Corium is Vyvanse, the head of HR is from Vyvanse, the head of sales is from Vyvanse. I think there's another fourth guy or girl from Vyvanse, from the Shire, all from Shire, excuse me. Shire being the company that bought Vyvanse, which was eventually bought by Takeda. So, you're seeing, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. And we're hoping that this is the case again, that people wouldn't be jumping ship if they didn't believe they had a blockbuster on their hands. And so I just think the shorts have it. I think the whole dilution thing that happened late last year and early this year, it hurt a lot of shareholders. There's probably some institutions that don't want to touch it because of that. But once the sales come in, it's a whole different company. No debt, going to have $100 million plus in cash shortly, low cash burn rate, sales coming in, so they're not even going to be negative cash. So you have so much optionality with this company that it needs $1 billion market cap tag. And I don't know what institutions aren't seeing or what they're not seeing. And I think Dr. Mickle and LeDwayne just need to hit the roadshow in the times that they can virtually, because that's time saving as well. Because and I think we should get some people from Corium out there a little bit more publicly about the drug.
Hmm. Yeah, if we know anybody, if you know anyone, Niraj, I'd love to bring them on and
Mhm.
shed some awareness to the rest
Yeah.
of the community out there. There's a passionate group of KMPH people out
Yeah,
there.
I think when you talk to Dr. Mickle, if he could also come on with Corium and speak together in a one voice, I think that would be very powerful.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions. I was gonna read some. One of them said something about they um they licensed the Alzheimer's drug to Alzamend. So I don't know if that's the same one. I think it was a vaccine.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think they've done that, but again, I don't know. That could be information I don't I
yeah,
haven't.
people are just, I mean, you gotta like fact check a lot of this stuff. And that's
Mhm.
part of the blame I put on KMPH is they're not, doing a very good job of PR or
Yeah,
marketing or anything like that. I mean, I understand there's small market cap, they're focused on research. They only have one clinical trial manager right now, as far as I've been able to see. And so I'd like to see them hire more internal research folks, um, so that they can focus on these other studies too. Like the substance
yeah.
use disorder is going to be huge, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even the insomnia drug they're working on. But again, just from a financial standpoint with Astaris, that's just such optionality that alone should have put $1 billion market cap on the company.
What do you
Yeah.
make of the label? As I know you got to go. The label, like there's a lot of like fogginess, cloudiness around that. What is the actual label terms? Like what are they allowed to say when they market?
From my understanding, they can market the 1330. So
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
the 3013, they
3013.
can
Yeah.
do that because, nobody really goes and does it based off some, the FDA doesn't really give guidance on that. The chart speaks for itself, right? You go out there, you show the chart to prescribers, to families, and they say, wow, okay, and I get less side effects with this. It's a no-brainer to try it.
Yeah.
Channel checking, a lot of people on Twitter,
Hmm.
on those message boards, in my own checks, they're really interested in this drug, from young adults to older adults.
And the adult ADHD drug hasn't been approved yet. It's like in phase 3
Hmm.
trials, right? So
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
is that priced in that it's already approved since the
No, I don't think anything is priced in correctly in this.
because that's going
This
to be
company's
coming up soon.
this company is priced as if the drug will never even sell and nothing in their pipeline will be successful and that the company is going away. It's literally priced for disaster.
Hmm.
And like I said, one catalyst, one big buyer, one institution gets involved, and you're going to see a $25 stock pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Um, I just think there's short-term traders are running the stock, shorts are running the stock. I,
Unfortunate.
it's unfortunate, yeah.
This should not be allowed. I mean, we don't want to go off on a tangent, but
Yeah.
GameStop
But I
showed
think,
us a lot.
I've also heard the term, and I think for the shareholders, the market is a mechanism to transfer wealth from the inpatient to the patient. So
Hmm.
I want the shareholders to know that the minute you get bad news with this company, I would be the first to say I'm out. I'll be transparent. I'll come on the show and say, Dan, I'm selling. I'll make it urgent. I'll come on as I'm doing it, just so there's no time lag. But
Go live.
there, I have not seen any bad news. I've seen only good news and better news and better news and great news. Um, who wouldn't want to trade $28 million for $140 million, and have lower tiers now to hit for those milestones?
Right.
And you don't need the money. The company doesn't need the money right now. It has more cash than it knows what to do with. It's going to have money coming in from the sales of Astaris and the sales royalties and then the milestones. So
They can throw some money at a little bit of marketing.
a
Uh,
little bit of marketing.
get at me,
Yeah.
KMPH. We can do it. But I
Yeah,
know
I
you
would
got to
love
run.
to have Travis Mickle on here, detailed, and even bring a Corey in person on you and just have you grill him. And
If that
so,
happens, I'll have you on as a guest or as a co-host, and we'll interview
sure,
them together.
yeah, let's do it.
Because
Whatever it
you're
takes.
my go-to KMPH person.
Yeah, Dr. Mickle, we need you, or
He'll come
LaDwayne.
on. He's
Yeah,
messaging me back. It's just his PR people are in the way.
yeah,
All right. So thank you, Niraj. We
yeah,
appreciate it. I know you got to run, but I appreciate the update.
yeah.
And
No problem.
let's get Dr. Mickle on here.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have not
ASAP.
sold a single share. I've only added, and I've actually contacted a lot of other large shareholders, and they've talked to me more about the history of the company, and it's just, I think the future is bright. So
I hope so, Niraj.
yeah,
Let's know what you guys think in the comments, and then
yeah,
everybody share this on LinkedIn with Dr. Mickle. Let's get him on,
yeah,
and we won't ask too much about the stock. We're gonna ask about his background, and we'll ease
yeah,
into KMPH.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
I
you,
like
Niraj.
I like it better when CEOs and company leaders don't talk about the stock, but they talk about the company.
Because they
That's
can't
the
say
way we
much
want.
anyways. I get
Yeah,
it.
they
Like,
can't say anything. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But I think he is an asset, and people are not factoring that into this. I mean, he's
mhm,
a true scientist.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All
So
right, Niraj, appreciate it,
okay,
man. You have a good
Dan,
day,
thanks. I,
and
I look forward to coming back and talking more clinical trials with you.
for sure, for sure. And remember,
Okay.
if you ever get antsy and want to sell, let's do it live,
Yeah,
Niraj.
no, we'll do it by. I'm not antsy. I'm patient. So I'm
Good.
long-term money in this, and I'm ready to lead the charge with other buyers. So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Niraj. Take
All
care,
right. Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Thanks, Dan.